This is the barium chloride, sodium sulfate, and there's white mist. We don't see the precipitate yet. Alright, silver nitrate and the sodium chloride is next. So we are now mixing silver nitrate and sodium chloride. So here goes the silver nitrate and the sodium chloride. And we also see white mist, however it is not as white as the first time with the barium chloride and sodium sulfate. And you see some white spots down there. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but there's some white precipitate. See right there, some white powder. Chemicals we'll mix. Oh, are you ready? The next chemicals we'll mix are lead nitrate and potassium iodide. So here's the lead nitrate. Lead nitrate first. And then here's the potassium iodide. And this time you see a yellowish tint. And there's small yellow precipitate. They're not clumped up like in the previous one, the silver nitrate and sodium chloride, but they're there. Very small. The fourth chemicals we're going to mix are sodium carbonate and hydrochloric acid. So here's the sodium carbonate. And here's the hydrochloric acid. Not very much. Oh, there you go. Small white precipitate at the very bottom. Not very much else. Oh, and it's gone. So in the sodium carbonate and hydrochloric acid, unlike in the mixtures before, there was no precipitate at all. There were only some bubbles, but there was no actual precipitate that resulted. Number 5 is sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid. They're both aqueous. They're all aqueous solutions. So here's the sodium hydroxide. And here is the hydrochloric acid. And it's purple. But I think that's just dirt from what was in there. See, it disappears. Some residue. No precipitation. But it is dirty. Number 6 is barium chloride with sodium carbonate. So here goes the barium chloride. Let's make sure this one's clean. Always make sure your lab equipment is clean, guys. You don't want the previous incident to occur. Alright, and here's the second chemical, the sodium carbonate. And you see the precipitate. Small, even smaller than the third mixture, but it is there, very present. Number 7 is sodium hydroxide and acetic acid. So here's the sodium hydroxide. All right, and here is the acetic acid. It almost looks like we mixed water with water, but That is not the case. And we do not see anything. There is no precipitate. Number 8 is sodium hydroxide. Here you go. And that is purple, however, that is not from our chemical, that is just previous residue. Here's ammonium chloride. And you'll see when we mix this, the purple disappears. Usually. See, it gets a different tint. And we do not see any precipitate. Just purple from the residue.
It looks clean. Just potato.
We are going to mix for number 9 ammonium chloride and silver nitrate. Here's ammonium chloride. And silver nitrate.
And butter. Like when you eat coffee. Maybe a little salt.
It looks milky. Oh, there's a lot of precipitate there. I think you can probably see that in the camera. Yeah, lots of clumps. It's right there. Lots of clumps. There you go. So for number 10 and 12, we were going to do sodium sulfide and hydrochloric acid. And for number 11 was going to be copper sulfate and sodium hydroxide. However, we do not have those chemicals because they're too dangerous for our inexperienced hands. And we're going to do lead nitrate and potassium chromate. So here's the lead nitrate. And here's the potassium chromate. Yellow. There you can faintly see some dots, some precipitate. However, they're not as clumpy as before, as number 9. There you go. Number 13 is iron nitrate and sodium hydroxide. We are going to put the iron nitrate first. Here's the iron nitrate. And it looks like fire, doesn't it? And there's sodium hydroxide. That doesn't look like fire. It looks like something else. And we do have some precipitate, some dark orange precipitate, very small dots. Can't really see them on camera, but very small. Number 14 will be silver nitrate and sodium hydroxide. We're going to have to get a new tray after this because that's our last one. So here is our silver nitrate. And next is our sodium hydroxide. Oh, look at that, that's black. It looks like sand.
Like dirty paint water.
That's awesome. Yeah, it looks like mud on the bottom, but it's not mud, it's precipitate because obviously this isn't dirt, this is silver. I don't know if you can see this, there's a little bit of precipitate right there at the end of my stir. Alright, that's it. And for our last experiment, we will do sodium chloride and calcium nitrate. Now these are both aqueous solutions. They've all been aqueous solutions, as I mentioned before. So it's a little bit diluted, so it's more safer. Here's the sodium chloride. There. And the calcium nitrate here. And we'll find our stir. Here's our stir, and we're mixing. And we do not see any precipitate. Therefore, when we do the calculations, we should not find any precipitate in our calculations. If we do, then we did this. We did the experiment wrong. There you go.